Hello everyone. The previous video by Rodney Shakespeare introduced the major new paradigm. The crux of the matter is that mainstream economics is based upon 59 false assumptions, all of which are interconnected. Therefore, if only one of these assumptions is clearly demonstrated to be false, or maybe two are clearly demonstrated to be false, then the whole edifice of mainstream economics starts to crack and soon comes tumbling down. Rodney Shakespeare, in his short video, could only deal with one or two of these false assumptions, but they suffice to demonstrate the key point to Thomas Hobbes, namely, there is a major new paradigm that is incompatible with the old ones and it replaces it. The new paradigm is substituted for the old one. The result is fresh vista with different plants and animals. The vista reveals new policy options for a solution to the world's economic and environmental problems. The key revelation of the new paradigm is that when the commercial banks are stopped from continually creating new money, there is no physical or intellectual barrier to the creation of an interest-free money supply issued by the National Bank for the benefit of the real economy and society. Now, supply must always be directed at spreading ownership of and access to the real economy and not directed to continually narrowing the ownership as happens at present. The commercial banks can administer the supply. Of course, there must always be repayment, a collateral, together with a business plan. But then, because the money is interest-free, there is a rapid implementation of protective capacity and rapid repayment in a way which is completely inconceivable at present. Producers and consumers become the same people. For the first time ever, says theorem, a genuine balance of supply and demand will actually exist in practice. There are many uses of interest-free money supply. For example, microcredit. It is outrageous that Asian commercial banks charge 60% per year for microcredit, whilst private lenders in rural areas can charge 200, even 300%. Grameen Bank averages around 34%. 17% of the borrowed money and the other 17% is for administration costs, which are high and include the cost of training the borrower. Grameen and similar organizations have a 98% repayment rate. So there is no substantial reason why they could not receive interest-free money, lend it on to their usual clients and then repay the money to the central bank. In this way, the effective borrowing costs to the client is halved, down to say 17%. That would be a huge improvement. And at 17%, there would likely be a 100% repayment rate. Now, startup businesses, small farms, when these businesses have to borrow interest-bearing money, their chances of survival considerably diminishes. But interest is not necessary when the money is put into productive capacity and where there is no training costs. Why have a training cost? There is no need for this business to be burdened with the crushing burden of interest-bearing debt. As long as there is scrutiny to ensure that the business has a viable proposal with appropriate provision for collateral and administration costs, there is no reason for there to be interest at all. Now, let us come to medium-sized businesses. Interest-free loans are available for medium-sized businesses only if the loans are associated with widening of ownership. Incomes for all. The new paradigm opens the way for all individuals in society to have an independent income in some way related to the real economy. If a person has a job, that's good. But you see, computers, artificial intelligence, and marvelous new technology are just smashing out the traditional, secure, well-paid jobs, replacing them, if at all, with temporary, insecure, low-paid, gig economic ones. In short, there is a huge technological shift, smashing out jobs, and mainstream economics has no way of effectively ensuring that everybody has a reasonable, steady income. However, in the new paradigm, there is a way, using the practical mechanism of binary economics and the interest-free money supply, it is possible to achieve wide capital ownership in the large corporations in which capital pays out its full return, which would be 5 or 8 times the existing return. How about that? Indeed, in a world of increasing automation, spreading capital ownership is the only way of ensuring a true balance of supply and demand. But with a basket of full payout shares, all individuals would have a steady income because they would have been directly connected to the real economy. The full payout is the crucial way of enabling all people to have an independent income. A child would have a small independent income, and this would increase over the time. Further information, of course, can be found at our www.binaryeconomics.net. Now, let's come to housing. Loans for public housing can be interest-free, making repayment 1/2 or less of the present cost. How about that? In case of a private housing, again, halving or more the cost of the owner, loans would be only 80% of the valuation, and there should be no criminal penalties or deliberate false valuation and declaration of income. Public capital projects, that's very important. In case of public capital projects, the mechanism for the loan is simple. The National Bank creates interest-free money and then lends it to the government for the purpose of the government's own capital expenditure. Money for repayment is collected as at present out of fees and taxes, with the difference that the amount required to be collected would be half, even quarter of the usual amount. Interest-free loans for public capital projects have to be used by, like the Channel Island, of Guernsey, which has minimum national debt. That's an important example. And now, let us take Malaysia. Malaysia is believed to be experimenting with such loans and of late has achieved some remarkable feats of public construction. Over the period of 1939 to 1974, a prosperous period, Canada used the loans, and today many Canadian municipalities are demanding their use again to upgrade the poor, decaying infrastructure. After 1935, New Zealand used such loans for hydropower schemes, railways, state housing, etc., and had a remarkable prosperous period. In the late 1940s, Taiwan used the loans to spread ownership of farmland without harming the rich. So, here, the Humber Bridge, let's take our Humber Bridge in England, is starting at 28 million with some cost increases. Compound interest took the cost from 28 million to 439 million. That is 15 times higher. The bridge today is a money maker. Its income from travelers exceeds the cost of salaries, repair and maintenance, but compound interest turns it into a colossal loss maker. This is what happens with compound interests. Waterworks should have interest-free money for their concerns, and why not? And so should the sewage works. There are, of course, our railways. Let's come talk about greenery, and in particular, the clean generation of electricity. The UK is surrounded by tidal seas all around, coming in and out twice a day. It is ideal for tidal lagoons, which use old technology. What is that? Concrete walls and slow-moving turbines. They are easily built and they are environmentally friendly. But what happens? Compound interest stops them from being built. It is as simple as that. It is vital to have clean energy generated by tidal lagoons, underwater turbines, wave machines, windmills, geothermal power stations, and as lately, the solar generation. Many countries are suitable for larger scale solar generation, which is getting much more efficient these days. Let's take water desalination. Interest-free loans for water desalination would transform large areas of the world. However, my favorite is a Mangrove-crested sea barrage. Every year, millions of tons of valuable soil is lost because of water erosion. Yet, the solution is simple. The planting of mangrove-crested barriers. Now, I thank you very much for watching this video. Thanks a lot. Hope you have enjoyed it. Hope you have gained something from it. And I wish you a lot of success from attending this conference. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.